Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome to the Healing Planet. My name is Melinda. Happy new moon in Libra. Are you feeling the shifts? Big changes are taking place. And I think most of it feels amazing. Beautiful energies. Of course, Libra is ruled by Venus, the planet of love. So today I'm going to read you a chapter from the 13 Original Clan Mothers book by Jamie Sams. And the new moon in Libra represents the 10th moon cycle. And the clan mother in the native cultures, and I think Jamie Sams is of the Cherokee Nation. The clan mother of the 10th moon cycle weaves the web. So here's a beautiful poem written by Jamie Sams before I read you the chapter. Weaves the web, gossamer threads of life hold me, perched between earth and sky, weaving the web, dreaming the dream. Through the two worlds I will fly. With you as my muse, mother, I create the substance of dreams, allowing the artist within me to fashion my life with esteem. I mold the clay of experiences into a sacred medicine bowl, capturing the essence of living as it sings deep in my soul. Your secrets of creation, mother, have taught me when to destroy the chains that have bound me, limiting the expression of my joy. You have taught me how to labor, giving birth to the visions within, setting them free like silver arrows, kindling the fire of creation again. So that was the poem. And now here's the reading for the clan mother of the 10th moon cycle. Weaves the web represents the creative principle within all things. Her moon cycle falls in the month of October and is connected to the color pink. Working with the truth is her cycle of truth. She teaches us how to use our hands to create beauty and truth in tangible forms. Pink is the color of creativity. Weaves the web shows us how to use crafts and art to create our ideas and dreams in the physical world. Through using our hands, we show our willingness to be of service to all our relations. Weaves the web is the guardian of the creative force in all things. She helps us express our creativity in a positive manner and use the energy available to us. This clan mother is also the keeper of life force and instructs us to create health, to manifest our dreams, to develop and use our talents, and to access our spiritual potentials. The clan mother of the 10th moon cycle is the mother of the creative and destructive principles. She shows us when to destroy limitations and create anew. She also teaches us when to nurture our creations, because she is the keeper of survival instinct. When our physical, emotional, mental, or spiritual survival is at risk, Weaves the Web shows us how to tap into the life force to grow beyond this stagnation. She is an artist, a creatress, and the muse who beckons and inspires us to create the beauty found in our heart's desire. Through making something tangible and filling that creation with beauty, we are shown that the stuff of dreams can be expressed, giving form to our visions. She is the clan mother we turn to when we are afraid of failure or lack self-expression. When we follow the steps necessary to bring our dreams to life, Weaves the Web shows us how to use the life force found in the four elements of air, earth, water, and fire. We learn how to mix these elements with the creative essence that is our gift from the great mystery. This creative spark is called the eternal flame of love and lives inside our spiritual essences. When the desire to create is in place, we are then able to make the decision to be. We then give form to our spiritual essences or orendas through self-expression. Weaves the web, like Grandmother Spider who wove the web of the universe, teaches us how to weave the web of our experiences. She shows us how every circle we create grows to touch circles created by all other life forms. The webs we create can trap us if we do not create them in truth. We are asked by this clan mother to work with and for the truth in order to manifest a world dream that all living things can share. A web that is created in greed will eventually trap and devour the one who wove it because it was woven too tightly to allow giving, receiving, and sharing. A web woven too loosely, without care, lacks the craftsmanship that is necessary to make it strong and durable. A web woven from fear will attract the lessons needed to overcome that fear. A web woven from the love of creating and the desire to share the abundance caught in the web's silvery fibers is a web that will endure until the dream is fulfilled. Weaves the web is the clan mother we turn to when we need the skills to make our dreams real. She shows us how to take the actions necessary to tap our creativity and go with the flow. Giving birth to our dreams is always accomplished by having the desire to create, deciding to create, and taking the actions necessary by using the flow of life force to give birth to the dream in the tangible world. And here's the story that goes along with this chapter called Grandmother Spider Came Down. Weaves the web scooped the rich white clay from the river's embankment below the chalky bluffs and placed the lumps of alabaster earth into her river reed basket. The leaves of the scrub oak had turned bright red in contrast to the yellow pollen that clung to the deep forest green of the surrounding cedars. The leaves of these standing people would bring forth many colors when added to her oven to fire the bowl she would create from the clay. She would climb the limestone cliffs to gather the flat-leafed cedar and red-orange oak leaves, but she was happy to do it. Weaves the web found such a joy in making objects of beauty and experimenting with new designs that she often lost herself in the creative process. Sometimes, when she was out walking on the land, she would find herself deep in the tall forests, covered with vines and chirping birds, and would have no idea where her wanderings had taken her. Weaves the web had a natural ability to retrace her trek by looking into her basket and working with the gathered objects that she had placed in a specific order. She could begin with the last object she had gathered and walk back to the area where she found it. Then one by one, the locations of her collected bounty would take her back to familiar surroundings. From those often traveled locations, the clan mother could easily find her way home. Weaves the web used the bark, berries, tubers, leaves, and mosses she gathered in the same way Grandmother Spider used the silvery threads of her web. It made no difference if the mother of creativity traveled in a circle or in a straight line, she could always find her way back to her camp. Each location where Weaves the web gathered something from the land contained a spot where she had connected her creative threads of self-expression with the living plants, earth, or stones of sunlit forest. The clan mother always left a gift for the spirits of the forest when she took something for her own use. The loving exchange, showing gratitude, left a trail through the lush growth that formed a homecoming trail back to her camp, nestled in the limestone outcroppings that towered over the river's bend. As Weaves the Web dug more clay from the embankment, using a sharp piece of stone as a hand tool, she saw in her mind's eye the medicine bowl she would fashion from the clay. The enjoyment she felt when she used her hands to make pots coursed through her arms, bringing her a sense of satisfaction that made the hard work of digging the clay seem easy. The hole carved by spring runoff that gaped like an open mouth in the slanting ridge reminded Weaves the Web that the Earth Mother would need to be fed after sharing the cloud-colored clay with her two-legged daughter. Weaves the Web had carried several large stones down the bluff to place inside the orifice where she had dug her clay. Squirrel scampered down the trunk of a pecan tree on the other side of the river, exposing his nut-laden cheeks to Weaves the Web. He tried valiantly to give the clan mother a smile without spitting out the pecans. Weaves the Web giggled at Squirrel's predicament, thinking of the lessons he had taught her through his natural medicine of gathering energy and saving a little extra for lean times. In the early seasons of her earth walk, the clan mother had learned to pack dried fruits, tubers, and meat in underground storage holes, saving the food for use in the winter. Squirrel was once again preparing for the coming snows. Weaves the Web noticed that Mother Beaver and her clan had made ready for the coming white moons because they were busy stopping the river's flow, adding saplings to the dam they had built across the inlet, just downstream from where she was digging clay. The changing temperatures were a sign to the clan mother that it was time to gather all the material she would need to keep busy during the winter, when her activities were limited by the biting white winds of the north. She had filled her food stores, gathered herbs for cooking and medicinal purposes, and tanned the green pelts needed for a new parka, and now she was collecting the supplies she would need to make usable implements for her life in camp. She silently thanked Mother Beaver for showing her how to use her time to build or make things during periods of long inactivity. Beaver was the keeper of builder medicine, who showed humankind how to keep busy by being productive, bringing their visions and dreams of a better life into reality. The tribe that walked through the clan mother's forest in summer, following the trail to their ripening moon's gathering, was always happy to trade with the artist because her creations were so unusual. Weaves the Web always had a storehouse of handmade toys, baskets, clothing, clay pots, and cooking utensils finished by the time the snows had been replaced with clear green shoots of new undergrowth. By the moon of ripening berries, the clan mother had bartered for the items that would fill her own needs, assuring her that she could meet the challenges of living alone during the falling snows. Every moon of falling leaves, Weaves the Web would see which raw materials were available and would plan all of the things she could make during the time her creature friends would be hibernating. The clay she was now digging would be a part of her cache of art supplies, as would the leaves she intended to gather later before Grandfather's sun went down. For the next 2 moons, the clan mother would complete her gathering and store all her needed supplies in the cavern she called home. The blowholes in her cavern, created by the Earth Mother's metamorphic growth and cooling cycle, in ages past, had provided the clan mother of creativity a few excellent places to keep her things. She could even fire her pots in a blowhole that had a natural chimney through the limestone roof, high above the cave's entrance. Winter came with all its blustery glory. The northern winds exhaled the snows in swirling patterns, covering everything with glistening ice beings and downy snowflake blankets. Inside the cavern, Weaves the Web was happy and warm. Each new sun brought new ideas and the continued joy of whittling, making pots, fashioning dolls from old bones, basket weaving, or sewing hides into clothing. Weaves the Web put her love and expertise into each item she made, and in so doing, gave each creation the gift of life and purpose, similar to the way the Great Mystery gave life and purpose to all of creation. She looked forward to the coming days of trading during the ripening moons that would bring her away to share her artistic endeavors with other two-leggeds. Just imagining the expressions of joy that would light up their faces after the trade was completed warmed her heart even now in the deep cold of winter. The ones she traded with would never show how much they liked something before a trade was complete, fearing the barterer would ask too high a price, but afterward, the gleam in their eyes was a welcome reward for the mother of creativity. One sun, after the first few snows had blanketed the Earth Mother in her white robes, Weaves the Web awoke to find the most exquisite spider's web she had ever seen, covering the opening of a blowhole. In the center of the web was a most unusual spider, completely white except for one red spot on the upper portion of her body. Weaves the Web marveled at the unusual appearance of her eight-legged friend. Spiders did not usually appear during the cold of winter. Perhaps the warmth of the cavern had brought her a visit, but it was doubtful. Weaves the Web thought it was a sign from Grandmother Spider, who wove the web of the universe. Grandmother Spider was the special creature that the Great Mystery had chosen to weave the original webs of the tangible world, making a skeleton of concentric circles that would hold the flesh and realities of all life forms in creation. Weaves the Web asked Spider if she had a special message. She was startled by the creepy crawler's answer, echoing as a voice inside her human thoughts. I have been sent from Grandmother Spider to tell you that you have created many things of beauty and have woven a new web of experience because your heart has expressed a desire to share that creativity with others. Use your new medicine bowl and seek the visions that will reflect the desires hidden within your heart. Seek answers to what is coming into the web you have woven out of your hidden desires. Trust that you have chosen well and that your dreams will be fulfilled. Weaves the Web went to the far corner of her cave where she kept her medicine objects to retrieve her latest creation. The bowl was hard-fired and blackened with smoke from the leaves she had gathered. Here and there were flecks of color from trace minerals in the clay. She retraced her steps across the cave, lit a fire, and filled the bowl with melted snow. It was not long before her efforts brought the vision of 3 two-leggeds stumbling through the snow at the edge of a forest. One larger and 2 smaller forms struggled against the pounding winds of a storm. The vision changed, and Weaves the Web saw the smiling faces of 2 children, then nothing. That night, Weaves the Web dreamed She was seining. It's spelled Seining. I don't know. Weaves the web dreamed she was seining for food in the sea, and as she looked down into her woven net, she spied a starfish. It was an unusual starfish, colored a brilliant purple red. Starfish spoke to her and told her that its body represented the creative life force that two-leggeds could use when they tapped into the clan chiefs of air, earth, water, and fire, and then mixed those elements with the creative force of the great mystery. Starfish showed Weaves the Web how the clan mother had employed that same use of energy in making her crafts and in the ingenuity she had used in fashioning the cavern into a warm home. Starfish whispered to the clan mother's heart, Weaves the Web, you have used your creativity to fill your life with beauty, but you have become lonely. The hidden desire in your heart is weaving a dream that can change that aloneness if you pay attention. The abundance of creative talent that you possess can be shared with others if you give birth to your dream of having a family. The clan mother was startled by Starfish's revelation, but she could not pull her senses away from the dream. She tried to wake up, struggling with her desire to remember. But as the dreamscape changed, she went even deeper into the pictures being presented. The keeper of survival instinct knew on some level of consciousness that she needed to surrender and follow the dream vision in order to understand why she had not allowed the feelings of being alone to surface. She sighed in her sleep and then plunged into the watery world around her. Fathoms of ocean traveled past as she slipped beneath the waves, discovering that she could breathe under the dream water. When she reached the ocean floor, Starfish, riding on her shoulder, whispered to her again, Weaves the Web, you are immersed in the watery womb of the Earth Mother. Here you can give birth to your dreams and allow yourself to be reborn in the process. You never allowed the aloneness to surface because you were busy giving life to your other creations. The clan mother focused her attention on her womb and saw all the pent-up feelings she had hidden from herself with her desire to create. She wanted children. She wanted to share the toys she had made and to teach the young to use their imaginations, allowing them to create to their heart's content. She wanted to share the wisdom she carried regarding every human's ability to create as much as her or his imagination would allow. Children knew how to make that kind of magic, and so did Weaves the Web. A deep cry rose in her throat as she screamed her loneliness into the water. Suddenly, the clan mother felt a movement in her belly. She had the urge to spread her legs and push hard. She allowed her body to do the work, and a big iridescent bubble came from her womb into the water and rose to the surface. She caught a brief glimpse of bright eyes and two smiles looking back at her. Her body jerked involuntarily, and she woke up. It was an unusually chilly pre-dawn, and so she decided she would make a big fire to warm her shivering body. There was no use in trying to go back to sleep. She looked at the blowhole where Spider had been and was astonished to discover the figures of 3 two-leggeds woven into the outer edge of the web. Spider was gone. The fire was having trouble getting started because a draft was coming into the cavern from around the hides that covered the entrance. The clan mother threw a heavy robe around her shoulders and stumbled to the doorway. When Weaves the Web tried to cover the cave's entrance with the hides, pulling the rocks over the bottom of the skins to anchor them, she saw, not far from the trail that led to her home, a large mound covered in snow that was not usually there. Thinking that some lost creature had broken its leg and could provide her with fresh meat, she grabbed her flint knife and braved the foggy grayness of pre-dawn. Upon reaching the mound, she placed her fur-wrapped foot on the side and gently nudged it to see if the animal was still alive. After a second, firmer nudge, the guardian of creativity heard a human groan. The next few moments were spent in a furious endeavor to dig the body out of the snow. Upon reaching a nearly frozen buffalo robe, Weaves the Web cast it aside and found the blue body of a woman sheltering 2 children. The clan mother bent close and listened, realizing the woman was no longer alive, but was now walking in the spirit world. She tried to reach beneath the frozen mother to see if the children were still breathing. She wrestled with the frozen arms of the woman's body and pulled a boy of 4 summers into her arms, and then his older sister. She placed both children on her robe and covered them with 2 smaller robes that had been beneath them, keeping their bodies from lying directly on the frozen snow. She fought and tugged, dragging her load up the trail to the cave. The bodies of the children were ice cold, but they were breathing. She returned her thanks to the north wind for not bringing more snow and for the lives of her 2 charges. She had covered the woman's body, but she would have to return later to bury the body deeper, to keep it from being food for wandering carnivores. Finally, she reached the hides at the cave's entrance. The fire blazed brightly, giving all 3 people the warmth they desperately needed. Amid whimpers and moans, Weaves the Web worked diligently to rub the life back into the children's half-frozen limbs. The clan mother was reassured that the children would recover by the smiling faces she had seen in her 2 visions, but she hurriedly continued to administer her healing salves, stopping only once to hang a pot of stew over the fire. After the children had been rubbed, fed, and then tucked in extra heavy sleeping robes, the clan mother rested. Tiny sighs and moans came from the buffalo robes nestled near the fire. Assured that the children were asleep, the keeper of survival instinct donned her fur parka and went to bury the children's mother in the fading light. Later, bone-weary, after stoking the fire for the night, she collapsed into dreamless sleep, but had some part of herself still listening to make sure the children were all right. Sound of Rain was a young girl of 11 summers who found comfort in being with Weaves the Web. From the first instant that the girl resigned herself to the fact her mother was in the spirit world, she began calling the clan mother Aunt. This term of endearment was the way tribal children showed respect for their elders, acknowledging extended family as well as blood kin. Sun behind the clouds, her little brother, had only passed 4 summers, but was precocious, bold, and interested in everything he came into contact with. The little warrior was fascinated with the things his new aunt could do and the way she included him in all the activities of life inside the cavern. Weaves the Web was overjoyed with the company of her new niece and nephew. The children were always looking for ways they could assist in the daily routine. Sound of Rain was very creative and willing to talk about the ideas that poured from her imagination when she was learning how to make things. Sun behind the clouds was a quick learner and was the quieter of the 2, hiding his bright smile behind an unusually thoughtful manner. Together, the three would spend hours making new and wonderful toys, clay pots, and paintings, as well as participating in stories and games. Weaves the Web felt that she had been given a gift that made her life complete. The children had replaced their sense of loss with a magical world that filled every passing sun with new games, fun, and a sense of family, living with an aunt who cared for them very deeply. The storms of winter howled and groaned outside the cavern, but inside the fire was warm, the food was plentiful, and the loving new experiences seemingly inexhaustible to the two little ones. Weaves the Web assisted Sun Behind the Clouds in making a child-sized shield out of rawhide and a tiny set of arrows to go with a little bow. The young warrior would spend hours at the back of the cavern shooting the giant four-leggeds that the clan mother had painted on the walls of the cave. Sun Behind the Clouds would silently stalk his prey, hiding behind the boulders scattered here and there along the limestone floor. Then he would pretend he was a fully grown hunter who was capable of downing the buffalo or elk with one arrow. Often he would mimic hauling the meat home to his aunt and sister. Weaves the Web always thanked Sun Behind the Clouds for his prowess and for the imaginary meat he brought to their fire. In a very serious manner, she would ask the little warrior what great four-legged he had downed that day, and he would name the creature. The aunt would then teach the boy how to apologize to the beast, giving thanks to the creature's spirit for the food provided, and then she would show the boy how to release the animal's spirit. Every time Sun Behind the Clouds brought fresh, invisible meat home, Weaves the Web would cook some dried meat from her stores for the evening meal. Sound of Rain was impressed with her aunt's ability to support both children's vivid imaginations. The clan mother encouraged any kind of creativity that either child cared to employ when playing, making things, or helping with chores. If the children could find an easier or more self-expressive way of doing something, Weaves the Web was happy to go along. The clan mother showed both her charges how to work with their hands and how they could create a beautiful life in the same manner they created crafts of beauty. She showed them how to take care of materials, how to be proud of their handiwork, and how to put love into everything they created. She reminded both children of how the Great Mystery had put love into every life form, and how they, as two-leggeds, were asked to continue that legacy of loving creativity. Weaves the Web taught the children that every painted symbol had meaning to an artist, and that every color had a significance when an artist created an object of beauty. The medicine story behind each pot or toy gave those items a mission or something to teach a two-legged who looked upon those creations. The self-expression of the artists who created the items always reflected how those craftspeople felt about themselves, how well they had developed their skills, and how they saw the world around them. Weaves the Web became a muse for the two children, always urging them to use their imaginations and reasoning powers by putting their creativity into workable methods that would allow the pictures in their minds to match the crafts or playthings they made. Sound of Rain was a striking example of how quickly a child could learn to become as skilled as an adult. The girl's keen ability of observation and repetition astounded Weaves the Web. The young girl's imagination and sense of self shined through every new endeavor she undertook and then accomplished. Weaves the Web could clearly see from the way Sound of Rain used her materials and took painstaking efforts to make and paint pots, that the girl would become a masterful artist and craftsperson. Symbols were delicately and precisely painted by Sound of Rain's unswerving hands, guided by the girl's natural sense of proportion and composition. Weaves the Web realized that her heart's hidden desire had brought the dream of having loving, artistic children into her life. As the warming moons approached, the clan mother found herself weaving future dreams that included her niece and nephew, sharing the magic of creating a life full of rich potential. Daily, Weaves the Web returned thanks for the fullness she felt in being privileged to observe the children's growth and joyful self-expression. She forgot what it had been like to pass winters alone and in silence, with only her pots, crafts, and toys for company. One sleep, during the warming moons, the voice of the Earth Mother permeated Weaves the Web's dreams. Daughter of my spirit, hear my voice. The gift you have given yourself in the form of these two children is a gift of the Dream Weaver, Grandmother Spider. You will nurture these children into adulthood. You will share their exuberance and their tears. You will find yourself reflected in them as you observe them passing through the cycles of growth and change. These memories are the living treasures that every mother carries inside her heart. While they grow, the children will also use their creativity to test your authority, to test your wisdom, and to test your resolve. Know that they need a firm hand, as well as a loving aunt who teaches them how to destroy limitation through using their self-expression and creativity. The clan mother thought of all the times she had shown the youngsters how to make something new from a pot or a toy that did not turn out as it should. Creation and destruction could always be reinvented if one used imagination. Weaves the Web took the Earth Mother's words of wisdom to heart, making note in the dream to remember all she heard and perceived. Then the Earth Mother continued, you have birthed your heart's hidden desire through weaving your dreams with the invisible webs of the creative force, daughter. You have created a loving family circle that will touch the circles of every other life form when life's experiences are shared. When your hoops of creation come together with the circles of life's experiences created by others, new ideas and creativity are available to everyone who is willing to share. Sun behind the clouds is a living extension of the male side of your nature, and Sound of Rain is a reflection of the female part of yourself. As you love them into adulthood, you will be creating the patterns of self-expression and webs of creativity that will serve them throughout their earth walks. Through their experiences, you will be able to see how your own creativity can meld with theirs to manifest the dreams you have shared in common. Teach your children well, Weaves the Web, and you will show others how the spirit of the artist living inside every human can fashion a world that respects the creativity that the great mystery placed inside all living things. As the Earth Mother's voice faded, Weaves the Web found herself riding through her dream on the back of Cheetah. Cheetah's medicine of accomplishing tasks with speed and agility brought the clan mother visions that seemed to fly through her mind's eye as if in fast motion. Images of showing the children how to accomplish new tasks avoiding the laziness and procrastination that comes from lack of inspiration, flashed through the clan mother's mind. The future would be good. The horizon was bright with possibilities, and Weaves the Web had found an unlimited source of inspiration, seeing the world through the eyes of sound of rain and sun behind the clouds. Weaves the Web silently thanked the Great Mystery for allowing her to express the beauty found in being a mother of the creative force. Her path would grow and change, along with the lives of her children. Every object she had ever created was an extension of her love and self-expression, each having a purpose and a mission of serving. Her children would find their own purposes and missions through their individual forms of self-expression. As the keeper of survival instinct, the clan mother realized that she had created a way for the wisdom and love she carried in her Orenda to be passed on, surviving the tests of time, because she had woven a web of creation that allowed her to give life, longevity, and permanence to her manifested dreams. So beautiful. So that's it for this month of beautiful new moon in Libra, or the 10th moon cycle of October. May it bless your life, and if you enjoyed the story or it inspired you, please share your reflections, thoughts, and experiences, or hit the like or the subscribe button with the little bell. Thank you for joining me, and I wish you a beautiful month of love, joy, creativity, and self-expression in your truth and full essence, or full Orenda. Until next time, remember, do something today that your future self will thank you for. Namaste.